Good day, everyone. Before we truly start, I want to ask you a question. Do you think our actions are enough to change the world? Let me introduce to you Giovanni Battista Montanate, also known as Pope Paul VI. He was born on September 26, 1897 and died on August 6, 1978. One of his most important pronouncements is his encyclical Populorum Progressio that was released on March 26, 1967 to address the world economy and its effect on people around the world.
Many nations saw their economic development stall, while others continued to rise at an incredible rate. In the paper, he discusses workers' access to a just wage, workplace security, fair working conditions, and the ability to form a labor union. The Church is profoundly concerned about the growth of nations and populations, especially for those who seek to escape starvation, poverty, illness, and ignorance.
While many nations have been blessed with abundance, they need to hear their brothers cry for help and answer it lovingly. The encyclical addressed the value and peril industrializations has brought forth and proposes a balanced approach towards development. Everyone is called to lend a helping hand to those in need. Development as a goal must include both social and economic development, enabling men and women to further their moral growth and spiritual endowment. There are three major duties which must be completed to achieve development. First, the wealthiest nations must give aid and promote solidarity with developing nations.
Second, fair trading relation between strong and poor nations must be established.
And lastly, the world must also focus on universal charity by building a more humane world community.
One of the encyclical's main concern is the disparity between rich and poor. The Pope warns that in promoting growth, we must prevent the danger of adding to the wealth of the rich, the suffering of the needy, and the servitude of the marginalized. And he stresses that production increase must eliminate inequality.
The Pope emphasizes that the solution is not only economic, but also human growth, and a major theme of his encyclical is the entirely human. He speaks of the construction of a more human world of being on the path of greater civilization.
The mission isn't just to end hunger or poverty, but to create a world in which everyone can live a truly human life, where freedom is not an empty word, and where the poor man Lazarus can sit at the same table with the rich person.
As we walk through this journey, we all have our own rocky paths, but each one of us should help one another in order to arrive at success. Problems that we are facing especially in our society, should be given a great attention. As we learn about the Christian teachings, disparity between the rich and the poor will be minimized as it will result in a developed economy. As a well educated student, in our own simple way, a right amount of respect, especially for our indigent people, should be observed. Whatever positions we have in this life, we are all capable of assisting one another, and so our actions are crucial.
As for the government, we are the ones who was not just voted, but trusted to lead and be responsible for each and every nation we ought to serve. We are the ones who must be the first one to deliver, develop, and surpass whatever obstacles our nation, our country face. And most especially, we are people's shoulders, hands, and feet to be leaned on, hold on, and walk through survival, and without any discrimination. And therefore, let us all stand together and be each piece to every incomplete puzzle.
I, as a member of the church, stand firmly by its side and to what it is fighting for ever since. We must stand and progress as one rather than pulling each other down. We must prioritize the need of the most vulnerable rather than burden and hurt them even more by allowing corruption and greed to prevail. As the children of God, we have a responsibility to our poor brothers and sisters to guide them to the path of solace where they can live the life they deserve, be treated fairly, and be deemed as an equal as they long should be. The line, which shouldn't be there at the first place, between the poor and the rich must be fixed, not by force, of course, but by making the people of all classes of the society understand and see that the poor are not their enemies, but friends, and that regardless of anything, we are God's children, and He loves us no matter what, no matter who or in what caste we are. Progress by not always cleaning the mess, but by trying to pave your way through those mess, and by not seeing those mess as mess at all, but instead obstacles that will strengthen you and make you prepared for what awaits you. Who am I that He has welcome? I was lost, but He brought me in His love for me. His love for me. Who the Son sets free, always free indeed. Humble child of God, yes, all realized He has ransomed me, His grace rest. While I was a slave to sin, Jesus died.